Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's just me today. If you were looking for our lovely ladies, you'll have to settle for this. Um, this is Open Conversations with International Coaches, in case you weren't sure. It is Thursday, June 13th, 2024, and today's session is all about blogging. And so I'm going to be filling in with that. Cass and Shelly Ann are both under the weather today, although it is a beautiful day here to be under the weather on. I was just outside on my front porch a few minutes ago enjoying the morning sun. Our porch faces east, and we got a couple of big trees that cut out a lot of it, but you get that nice warm feeling in the morning. And so here I am, and this is so reminiscent. I have somebody in the background looking after the mechanics of running StreamYard. I've never done that before. And here I am in front of the camera. It reminds me of decades ago when I used to fill in for a DJ on one of the local radio stations, and ran the voice part of the show, the microphone, and you spun up your own records and stuff. But there was a guy in the control room that did all the tech stuff. And here I am full circle back in front of the microphone. This time it's got a camera attached. So sorry, guys, you get to suffer. Anyway, that's where we're at. We're going to talk about blogging, and I guess I should introduce myself first. I'm a content creator, an experienced online presence consultant, a business success guide, and a personal development mentor. That kind of covers the spectrum of online presence. I assist my clients as they deal with tech overwhelm, procrastination, imposter syndrome, and mindset changes and challenges that kind of affect them as they're building their online businesses. And together we find the right path for their own journey of success. As I often say, the time to hire your guide is before you get lost in the woods. And you can reach out to me at stephenbhenry.com and use the contact page there and drop me a note. Glad to hear from you. You can reach out to me if you are looking for services, but you can reach out just to say hi, to comment on these presentations, to request topics you'd like to hear, anything at all. Criticize, critiques, all welcome. The compliments are dealt with better than the critiques, but we'll take the negative too, because it helps us improve. I had a very good friend once say that you shouldn't encourage that, but actually I prefer to. I found that I can improve every day of my life, so that's cool. I won't be able to get back to comments as they come in here. If you're watching this on StreamYard, and I'm not sure how that would happen, but you can comment in the comments in StreamYard. If you're watching this through one of our feeds, and again, I'm not sure today, we didn't have a whole lot of time to discuss it, and I'm not sure today whether Cass and Shelly Ann have their feeds outgoing live, but it should be going to YouTube, and it is streaming to my Facebook profile, and that's facebook.com/the WP all one word, the WP Wizard, the WordPress Wizard. And you can comment there, but I can't watch that while I'm kind of struggling with this, and so we'll get back to your comments afterwards. And then I will feed this out in replay to a couple of other places once I'm done with the hour. And if you've been on social media on Facebook, in several of the Facebook groups, some that I run and some that I frequent, you'll find that starting early this morning, I think about 2 a.m., I posted in a number of groups, and it's a series of posts that I've started. I kind of, ad-lib them, ad hoc them over the past few days to kind of develop a style. And now I'm starting a series of them that are called Words of Wisdom. And they show a slightly older rendition of myself as the graphic. And it's not a photograph, it's one of my infamous digital watercolors. And I'll probably use that on all of these going forward so that you can recognize them when I post. And they will start out with Words of Wisdom, a colon, and then the title. And then the subtitle, and the one I just shared this morning was called Words of Wisdom, Blog Your Way to Success. And the subtitle was A Coach's Guide to Blogging, a Coach's Guide to Building a Thriving Practice. And it covers a lot of what I'm going to talk about here today about blogging. I happen to think that blogging is a very important process for anybody who's online who wants to be found online. Now, if you're hiding out online, you don't need to blog, certainly not under your own name. But if you're working hard to build an online presence, to build an online business, especially a coaching practice, and you want people to find you, you're looking to, to reach out to potential clients, blogging is one of the best, probably the best ways of developing organic traffic. And organic traffic represents somewhere between 40 and 60% of all the traffic you're going to generate. So you really want to use blogging in your mix of things you're going to do to build traffic. And that's only one of the many things that blogging does for you. So it definitely is worth looking at and working with as you move forward. And the online world is constantly changing. We know that. It's getting more and more competitive, especially in the coaching field. And so you have to ask yourself, what makes me stand out? How are people going to find me? And, blogging has been pretty much unchanged since it started. I did my first blogs, I referred to them as journaling, online journaling, back, I think I started my first blog in 1995. The term blog didn't exist until I believe it was 1999, just before the turn of this century. And yeah, I'm old. Sorry about that. But the term blog is actually a contraction of the two words web log. A journal is a kind of a log. You're keeping a log of things you're doing, a diary, if you will, or a journal. And web, on the World Wide Web, as we would call it back then. Now most people refer to it as the internet, but it's only a piece of the internet. And then if you take web and take the B out of web and log as a short word for journal, web log, blog, you get the word blog, and that caught on and it's been around ever since. Well, when I journaled back in 1995, 96, I had to write my own software for my website in order to blog. There wasn't blog software available. WordPress didn't exist. The other blog softwares that you can get, blog platforms you can get on, they didn't exist. And there's a lot of good ones out there that you can choose from. WordPress is by far the more popular, and it's a good choice for a couple of reasons. It's free. There are other free ones as well. Blogger is a good free one. But WordPress makes it easy to change from just the blog to going to your own self-hosted website and taking your blog with you. It's a very easy transfer. You can transfer other blogs, but the bigger they are, the more posts you have, the tougher it becomes. It doesn't matter how many posts you have with a WordPress blog. It's a straightforward transfer. And last week we talked about websites. We talked about some of the reasons for having a website, and we're going to talk again about more of those reasons. But having a blog that is associated with a website is the next best step, the next good step to take. So that's there. Now, having a blog when you are building an online presence is a way of establishing your authority and expertise. Why do you want to do that? Well, being authoritative on a topic is not only good for the people that are coming to you to hire you to partake of your services. They want to deal with somebody who knows what they're doing, but it's also really good for search engines. Google especially puts a lot of weight on how authoritative a document, a page, a post, a blog entry is when it indexes it in the search engine. That's one of the key search elements. And so it helps define you as being authoritative if you are writing about things that you know about, and you're writing well. So that's important. And it helps you establish your expertise, especially for people who will then come to know that you know what you're talking about. And when they're looking for someone to help them with a certain topic, whether it's blogging or websites or coaching or email or whatever it is, mailing lists, all these different things, if you have been able to share your information through live presentations and through blogs on your website where you share other information, people then will reach out to you. There's a thing called inbound marketing, and that involves you using content. It's one type of content marketing, and getting that content out there. And last week we talked about using your website as the focus of your online presence, so social media would come back to you. And what that does is that you can post things on social media, you can share on social media, but if you can either link directly back to you, or a lot of social media places, groups, and so on don't allow you to put in links. They don't allow you to self-promote. They don't allow you to have a link from that post, that small post, back to a larger post on your website. That's kind of foolish. And I'll talk about groups another time, but I just unfollowed a group, unjoined a group early this morning because the group was 100% about the person who was running it. He had 60 members, been around for quite a long time, and only 60 members. And nothing in his group that he was sharing really benefited me. And I had shared a post. He didn't allow links, and that was all right. I'm a member of several groups like that. He didn't allow links. But I had shared a post that offered some really good content without a link, without self-promotion. I'm happy to do that. But it was being held for review. And he had already posted 3 times, 3 different days since I had posted, and it was being held for review, and it was still being held for review. So he wasn't interested in my post or anybody's post or what anybody had to say. It was all self, and that doesn't interest me at all. I share a lot about myself, a lot about what I do, but I also share a lot of good, valuable content across a spectrum of things. And I love to hear from other people. I work with other clients, and I work with people just with associates and friends, outreach and community groups and so on. And I love participation from other people because I'm constantly learning. Still, at my age, I learn something new every day, and sometimes that's some things, plural. And I love learning. I'm a lifelong learner. So I learn as much from my groups, from the people that share with me, as I could possibly share in the groups just by myself. So if you're in one of my groups, by the way, feel free to post. And all of my groups except one or two, and it clearly states so in the rules of the group. But all my Facebook groups allow links. You can link back to yourself. I even allow affiliate links. I'm not actually sure why people don't include and allow people to put affiliate links. My caveat is if they're on topic, if they're relevant to the group. So don't post a link to your website where you're selling knockoff Nikes or knockoff sunglasses, branded sunglasses, in a group that's about blogging. Stay on topic. If you've got an affiliate link to share, go ahead, make some money on it. That's okay. We're online to make money, but make sure it's an affiliate something that has to do with blogging, if that's what the group has to do with, etc. Whatever the groups are. And I want to get back onto the main topic of blogging here. All of those things are kind of relevant to blogging. Blogging is your way to get content out there, and you can post it in groups. You can post a synopsis or even just the link, and Facebook will grab a synopsis, usually a little synopsis and an image to go with it. But if you write a small synopsis, and if you have your own branding style, as I use my digital watercolors, you can post your own image, and that'll override any image that would normally be scraped from the blog post itself. And you can be linking back to your blog post, and then when people come to your blog to read the rest of the story, they may read other posts, and they may go to other pages on your website, which could include the pages where you have things, products or services for sale. So your blog draws people to your website, which is a great reason for having a website blog combination and not just a standalone blog. So that's there. And it allows you to position yourself as a thought leader. And people say, well, that's kind of highbrow, a thought leader? What's that all about? But if you're a person who is a thinking person who develops information and ideas, and you share them with others, you're a thought leader. And if you're going to coach people, you're going to help people with expanding their businesses, finding the solutions, what I call turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones, to give them that, good friend of mine says, a sense of direction. That makes you a thought leader. And a blog lets you identify as that just through the act of blogging. And those are key elements that make the thing work. A blog lets you build trust and credibility as well. We don't think about that so much all the time, but trust and credibility are key to our online presence. If we don't have credibility, nobody's going to be interested in what we say. If we don't, if we don't embody trust, so that people who know us and are going to work with us can, be able to feel comfortable dealing with us, they're not going to deal with us. And a blog can help with that. When you share that information and it's got your voice on it, people hear you speaking through the blog, they get to know you. And through that knowledge, trust and credibility shine. It's powerful. And, when you're offering valuable content, people appreciate the fact that you're, giving something of value. And today, that's a little bit rare. There's a lot of stuff out there for free, lots and lots. I could put you in touch today with 100 places where you could get something for free, but it would be a waste of both of our times. I can put you in front of several things that are free that are worth something to you, and that's good. I actually have a page where you can do that. If you go to reciprocity.net, and then look under the info menu, and the first item is my free stuff page, you'll find some of my stuff and some some places I recommend that you can get good free stuff. So have a look there if you're looking for free stuff. But there's not a lot of good free stuff out there. When you share value in your blog posts, and maybe in the blog post you provide a link out to some additional information that's not yours, but it's good information, maybe a free download, or maybe just another blog post or an article on the topic that extends it, a Wikipedia article entry on the topic that expands it considerably. You're giving people value, and they're getting it through you. There's so much stuff to search for. Do you ever get on YouTube and it shows you some stuff that it recommends, and you're scrolling down and scrolling down and scrolling down and maybe not finding anything, or you search, you're looking for something and you're scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down. You go on to Netflix or Tubi or any one of the video services, free or paid, and you're looking for something to watch, and you're looking and you're looking. You spend almost as much time looking for a movie or a TV series as you do watching it. It's hard to find good information, good anything, as you struggle through all the stuff that's out there. And you are only scratching the surface on what's available. So if you can share value, your own and other people's, in your blog, something of value is going to endear people to you. They'll come back, and they'll come back because they know you have pre-filtered a lot of stuff for them. And if what you're sharing is what they want, they're going to come to you rather than going through scroll after scroll after scroll. So, that's key. You're also building your brand online. And there's many, many ways to build a brand. We're going to talk about that in the future as well. In this OCIC series that we're doing. I'm just going to suggest here that along with whatever you do to build your brand, your blog allows you to put a human touch on it. It puts a face on your brand. Your About Me page does a little bit of that. You've got a brand that you've built, your logo and your style on your website and other things you're doing to build your brand. And then you've got an About Me page that says, hey, this is me, this is what I do. So that sort of puts a face on your brand, but it's a little bit of a cold face because it's structured, stylized. But your blog, post after post after post, week after week after week, is putting your voice on a topic, on a new, narrow topic, which gives a face to who you are and what you do. And that's important to, good blogs are good brands are brands that tell a story. And we'll talk more about that in branding, and it's very important. Your blog also is paramount in terms of lead generation and client acquisition, and that's when it cuts to the bottom line, that's sort of what we're here for. We want to feed people into our funnel and hopefully feed paid clients coming out the other end of the funnel, and that's all critical. It's to our online presence, to our online business, to building a successful coaching practice. And so we need to consider those things, and we can have calls to action in our blog posts. Sometimes we put them at the end, and they can be as simple as a wrap-up sentence that says, if you'd like more information on this topic, feel free to contact me. And contact me can be a link to your contact page on your website. And people will be interested and they'll contact you. Or you can have a call to action that says, this topic on whatever, I have a course on that, and it's on my other website. Here's the link where you can sign up for for that course, and that's a full call to action into a paid program, for example, or to a free webinar, or any number of things that you can do. So you can capture leads through call to actions in that approach. You can have a little form at the bottom of your blog post that lets people sign up for your newsletter, and then they can receive your blogs instead of coming back to figure out when you've posted a blog or not. They can receive a newsletter that will have your blog in it, and they can just read it in their email, or it'll have a snippet of your blog in it and other things, and they can click on a link to come to your website. But they know that there's a new blog, and they know whether they're interested in that topic to bother coming. They don't have to just keep coming around and checking and checking. You can make it easy for them. Plus, you get them on your mailing list to be able to send them other things. And we'll talk about mailing lists in the future too. You see how all this ties together? I think this is our 38th live session today in this series, the OCIC. And if you look back at the previous ones, they all are of an overarching theme. They all tie together. And it's amazing how well they tie together. And I think that is very important. We're trying to share an experience with you. If you're a coach, we're speaking predominantly to coaches, but also to those who need coaches. And sometimes those are coaches themselves. Coaches should have coaches, and maybe even more than one. And we're trying to share that kind of stuff to help you make a decision and to help you grow in what you're doing and to help you expand what you're doing. And blogging is a key element in that. And you can use your blog, if you're a coach, you can use your blog to showcase client successes and case studies. Now, people really like to be recognized and receive awards for what they do. I know that I was working in a company at one time, and they had a very powerful series of recognition levels. And it started basically from your first $100 worth of business. When you got involved in this business and you were just struggling, just starting out and got your first $100 going, you got a pin, a lapel pin. And it had the company logo on it. And it was, I believe it was black in color with gold trim, maybe silver trim on that one. And very, very basic, but it was a little lapel pin. And the part of the organization you were in made a show of bringing you up to the meeting, to the front of the room, and presenting you with that award. And, handing it to you in a little flip-top box or actually putting it on your lapel, depending on what you were comfortable with. And giving that, and if people weren't meeting in that part of the organization in that manner, then the person who was responsible for that part of the group, the manager, would seek you out and deliver that to you and make a little bit of a show about giving it to you and congratulating you for $100. Now, I'm not that old, $100 was money then, but it wasn't a lot of money. And, I don't know, it might be equivalent to $250 today, but not a huge big deal. Even if it was $500 today, it's not a huge big deal. And getting that award. And then as you moved along and achieved other, benchmarks, other milestones in the process of building your business, you got recognition. And, I built my way up through that company all the way to a management level. And There were still many more levels that I could go, but I also got, a mittful of awards along the way. And every time I got one, it felt great. People like that. So when you can recognize your clients' successes, when they can share their success with you and you can post that in a blog post for other people to see, with their permission. Some people don't want that. And some people need a little bit of coaching for that. That's why you're a coach. And some people are very happy to receive it at any point. If they're smart, they'll go along with it because it's, again, a part of their online presence. That process of recognition is a powerful tool. And you have that in your hands, literally at your fingertips when you run a blog. So, that is really an awesome thing. Now, there's more to blogs, lots more to blogs. And there are things that have to do with the process of a blog too, not only the theory of a blog and what it does. But I want to touch on one last thing about a blog, because it allows you to take a fixed amount of effort, or almost fixed amount of effort, and amplify it to have a much greater reach and a much greater impact on your online presence. You can write one blog post, and people say, well, how much is a blog post? Well, a blog post is as much as you need to say what you want to say. Seth Godin, author of many books, one of them that stands out in my mind is The Purple Cow. You can Google it, The Purple Cow, Seth Godin. He used to run a blog, and most of his blog posts were just a few words, 10, 15, 20, 25 words at the most, just a paragraph, a couple of sentences. But he said something valuable in a very succinct way. He published his first book by taking an accumulation of those short posts and putting them in a book. And the book was a great success because those were so meaningful to people. He was a thought leader, and he shared his thoughts in small bits. So it can be a blog post. You can write 300, 350 words, handful of paragraphs, share an idea. That's okay. That's a blog post. Typically, a blog post is 800 words or more. 800 words is a good size. Search engines have enough to chew on to index your post well. You may optimize your post, SEO, search engine optimization. You may optimize your post for a single keyword, but search engines like Google don't just index the post for that single keyword. They look at your post for words, nouns, things, and action words, verbs, and they look at phrases that speak about something, and they index all of that stuff. But when you optimize something, you're saying, well, yeah, I want to index all the stuff, but I want this one thing to stand out. So if people search for that particular thing, this post will show up in the top of the search returns. And you can do that, and it's good. But even if you don't do any SEO on your blogs, if you write good material, if you take everything else I've said as we've gone along here and you apply that to what you're doing, and you write a good, informative post in your own voice, speaking, sharing what you would share if you were a coach working with a client, or if you were a client seeking help from a coach, what you would ask and what you would write about, how you would explain your problem. And posts don't have to always be solutions. They can be good explanations of problems seeking a solution. And then you get comments that may offer solutions. So if you're doing it properly, posts can be any length. There's a lot of people today talking about long form posts. Now, there's no exact definition of long form, but generally it's accepted to be over 1,200 words and maybe up as far as 2,000 to 2,500 words. Some people say longer, but heck, if you're getting longer than 2,500 words, write a book. It becomes a book. But they're saying that long form posts always do better than shorter posts, and that is simply not true. Yes, long form posts can do well, but a well-written 800 word or 600 word or 350 word post can beat a long form post of 12, 18, 2,500 words. I've done it many, many times, so don't tell me it's impossible. It's definitely possible, but the key is to write a good post. Nothing wrong with long form posts, and they do have their advantages, and perhaps in another session at some time in the future, we can talk about specifically the length of posts, because there are different things to learn about that. And I mentioned SEO briefly. If you go to my website, Ultimate Virtual Solutions, plural, ultimatevirtualsolutions.com, and search in the website search box for Baker's Dozen. That's Baker with an apostrophe S, dozen. It'll come up with a blog post that I did there that's about SEO. And if you're looking for information now about SEO before we get to it in a future presentation, that's a really good place to start. And it gives you 13, a baker's dozen, of ideas and suggestions that you can apply to SEO to optimize for search your blog posts. Good place to start. And so you can boost your social media engagement with your blogs. You can link out to various social media groups. If you've got a website, you probably have your social media icons that link out to your profiles. But you can link out to specific posts or specific groups or pages from a relevant blog post, which will take people in that direction, and they'll find you or something you've posted on social media, and that's good. We've talked about linking back to your website, but you can go the other way too. It's a two-way street, a powerhouse of a street. And so that's important. You can provide, for example, a blog post could be a brief comment and then a series of points that are links to topics, relevant topics to the overall topic you're posting on, that you've posted out on social media and or that other people have shared on social media. And you might provide a dozen links as part of your blog post, and people can come back to that to check on more of those links from time to time. So that's good. And one further thing I want to talk about in terms of blog content is guest blogging. If you don't write blog posts well yourself, and the other thing people ask me besides how big is a blog is how many blogs should I post? And the answer to that is as many as you can. I have one client who attempts to regularly post one per day, and he's pretty good at that, and he's pretty good at writing blog posts too, I will say. And he's found the right tools to use and the right methodologies to do it. And a matter of fact, we're meeting next Wednesday to discuss specifically calls to action in his posts. And that is key to success, is getting posts out there regularly. Once a day is a lot for most people. Once a week is enough, but it's the bottom end of enough. Once or twice a month isn't going to cut it. It's good. It's better than nothing. Once every 6 months is better than nothing, but not much. If you really want to get something going, if you really want value from your blog posts, post twice a week. That's a good number. It's doable. If you're using a structured blog system like WordPress, you can pre-schedule your posts. So you can sit down on a Sunday afternoon for an hour, write 2 posts, and schedule them for Tuesday and Friday of that week. Or maybe post one immediately on Sunday and schedule the next one for Wednesday. And then do it again next Sunday and next Sunday and next Sunday. Or you can sit down on the first Sunday of the month and write out 8 blog posts. Maybe take a couple of 3 hours and write out 8 blog posts. Post one on the first Sunday of the month and schedule the other ones for Wednesday, Sunday, going through the month. And, you might need 8, you might need 9, depending on the length of the month. And depending on how February sits for those particular days that you've chosen, you might only need 7. I'm not sure. But, whatever the month is, you write that many posts sitting down at once. Your month is done. And if you're using tools to assist you in writing your posts, and maybe we'll talk about that in another session as well, it's what I teach in my coaching, you can get it done much faster. So, that is an ideal process, and you definitely want to get those things in place in what you're doing. But you can be a guest blogger. You can write posts for other people's blogs to help them out, and they will give you in return for that a link back to your blog. Or you can get people to write guest posts on your blog, which will help you with content that will benefit you. And especially if your blog is on your website, that will benefit your website in search. And it'll be great because the index of that guest blog post refers to the link to your blog, and that's great. But you give that coach or you give that guest blogger a link in the footer of that blog back to their blog or website or social media profile, whatever it is they want to link to. That's their payment for doing the blog post for you, and that is a win for them. So guest blogging, whichever way it goes, you write on somebody else's blog, they write on your blog, whichever or both, it's win-win. Either way in that situation, it's win-win. And I guess if you're doing both, it's win-win-win-win. Can't get better than that. So I think that's really important to consider about blogging. And the key to successful blogging is consistency. Doing good blogs on a regular basis. I suggested Sunday and Wednesday, for example, or Monday and Friday, or Tuesday and Friday, split them out, 2 a week. So that consistency, frequency, 2 a week every week, that's what you want to do. Quality is important. You want to maintain that quality in the process. And, I think that is key to everything you do. And longevity is important, and that cuts both ends. Longevity, how long you've been doing the blogging, that actually factors into SEO and into your showing up in the top posts. I've been doing this stuff for a long time. Go to Google and search Stephen B. Henry. Three items, first name, middle initial, last name. Search that and see how many spots in the top 10 are me. Who's first, who's second, who's third, and how many in the top 10. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been blogging for a long time. I've been doing SEO for a long time. I know what works, and it should show in that search. I haven't looked for a while, so I can't be sure what your results are going to be. And if you've never searched my name, then your results would be different than if I search, or if somebody else who searched for me last week searches today. That's how searches work. They give you different returns depend on your needs. And if you're searching for Stephen B. Henry for the first time, you'll get different results, but I'm willing to say that you're probably going to see me in that first 10 results, probably. If you search for Stephen B. Henry Coach or Stephen B. Henry Mentor, you might see a different selection, but you should see me in that area. So you want to maintain what you're doing for a long time. And of course, that means going forward. You want to start doing what you're doing and doing it, but you also want to have been doing it. Now, this is the paradox. You can't go back. We don't have time travel. There's no way for you to go back and start earlier. And yet the actual date you start matters. They say, when is the best time to plant a tree? The best time is 100 years ago. Think about that. The second best time is right now, because you can't go back and do it 100 years ago and have a full-grown tree in your yard today. You can only do it right now. And if you're planting a small, sapling to grow, you plant it now, it's going to be some time before it grows. We had our streets and our curbs and boulevards done a few years ago, and on the other side of the street, down the street, they planted some maple trees, and they were, I don't know, 10, 12 foot tall, couple of inch diameter maple trees from the nursery. And the one across the street from us now is about maybe 5 inches thick at the trunk and is a nice big bushy tree, but it's got a long way to go. And so even though it's been several years, it takes a while. Well, it's going to take you a while to build your blog, not 5 years or 10 years. If you follow what I've said, it'll be good in 6 months. But you need to start. And the SEO part of it goes from the day you start. And it actually comes into play. If you do it right, search engines will start finding you that first day that you open it up online. And it'll take about 3 months for you to appear in searches at all. And it'll take 6 months to a year to 18 months to get to the first 10 if you're doing everything right. So it does take time. Anybody who says, I can come on your website and I can SEO your website once and get you at the top of the first page of search in spot one, and you'll be there forever, they're doing two things. One, they're lying to you, and number two, they're using a very, very, very easy keyword that nobody else is using, and that'll get you to the top of page one. And that's not what you want, because if nobody's searching for it, who cares if you're at the top? So good SEO, requires the process and the start date. I'm kind of beating this to death, but the start date is important. And that's why I always say to people, if you're starting a blog, don't wait to make it public until you've got that first post up, or even the first 5 or 6 posts. You're working on those. You're trying to, as soon as you register the domain name and open that blog, and you don't have anything on it, just whatever the default crap is that the blog company gives you, or when you install WordPress on your hosting service, whatever theme you select, and it is up with its basic stuff, get the name of your website or blog entered into the configuration and a tagline that represents who you are or what you do, and get that out public. Don't wait until it's ready. Get it public, because the search engines will start finding that day, the next day, the day after, and that's when the clock starts ticking. Yeah, you want to get that first post up within a week. You want to get the first 5 posts up within, 2 or 3 weeks. But get that thing live. If you're building a website, over and over and over again, I talk to a new client or a prospect, and I ask them, what's the URL to your website? It's a 2-pronged ask. I want to see their website so I can see what they're doing and know what I need to help them with. But I also want to know if they've got a website. And the 2 answers I regularly get are, well, I have a website, but it's under, I'm repairing it, or I'm changing it. It's under construction, so I have it offline. What? You took it offline? You're negating all your SEO? No. Work on it live. Well, I'm going to have a website. My web guy's building it, but it's not ready yet. What? You don't have it online while he builds it? Fire that guy. He should have told you to put it online. And if he didn't, he doesn't know what he's doing. Fire him. Get a web designer who knows what he's doing. Your blog should be online from the moment you start working with it. That is critical to your SEO success, because 18 months from now, the clock will have been ticking for 18 months. The tree will have been growing for 18 months. If you wait 6 months until your web guy has figured it out, got it working, and then you're satisfied with it, made a few small changes, you're satisfied, you put it online, your clock starts there. And 18 months from now, you've only got 12 months of tree growth. Think about that. Very, very important. So get it out there, get it started. And just as your website should do, your blog, if it's a standalone blog with no website, then your blog's homepage, which may be the repository page with all the little blog links on it that they can click to open up the posts, but that blog homepage, that profile page, if you will, for the blog, should answer the same 3 questions that every website should answer. What is it, or who is it, right? It's your blog, so it should clearly state that it's, it's my victory blog, it's my travel blog, it's my coaching blog, whatever it is, it should state what it is. Stephen B. Henry blog. Then it should answer the question, what's it about? My travel blog, where I post my experiences globetrotting. What it's about. And then what do I get? People want to know, what's in it for me? What do I get? So who or what is it? What's it about? And what do I get? Here you will find, twice weekly posts on key places around the globe that you might consider for a vacation. That's what you get. Get that information in the header and in the first paragraph, and then have your blog posts that people will click on. And if your blog is integral to a website, treat that blog page as if it's its own website, because that will become the landing page that many people will come to for your blog when you share it around the internet. Your individual blogs will also be landing pages when people follow a link back to a blog post. So remember, your homepage on your website is a landing page. Your various pages that are openings to a sales funnel are landing pages. Landing pages are a concept. They're not a design or a style. They can be different things. Your blog itself, your repository for your blog posts, is a landing page, and your individual blogs themselves are landing pages, and they should all answer those 3 questions. Remember them? Who or what is it? What's it about? And what do I get? All landing pages should answer that. Above the fold, in the part that's immediately visible when they come to your site, and clearly stated in the header or that first content. It isn't about pretty. A beautiful hero picture that fills the top of your site with animated water reflecting the lights of a nightscape in the background. That's really beautiful. And when people come to your site, they say, oh, awesome. But if there's no menu or no scroll bar for them to move down to see what the site is about, guess what? Beautiful picture, guy. Nice website. Bye. And they're gone. You want to answer those 3 questions, and you want to have a user experience that is not frustrating. You want the menu visible, even if it's just a click to continue button that takes them somewhere else. You want to have that, at least one thing, if not a whole menu, available visibly. Pretty can go elsewhere. Pretty can be the head picture in a blog. But remember, the blog itself is in a blog post is a landing page, so that picture should come after a paragraph and after a header that answers those three questions. Keep that in mind. It's important to all of the various things that you're doing. I'm checking the time here because I don't have somebody else with me to keep track of it. And even with my glasses, the little time button is pretty small. So we're coming towards the wrap up. There's bound to be some questions, and in wherever you see this, if you're live or if you're watching it in a replay, which most of you will, as you may know, Facebook has made a change. So I was posting this live into my With Stephen B. Henry Facebook group. I can't do that anymore. I can only post it live into my Facebook profile, which is where this is streaming live right now. And then once I'm off of here, I will copy it over to, share it over to my With Stephen B. Henry and maybe a couple of other groups where you'll find it in replay. And it is being recorded live in YouTube. So you can always watch there. And we're on here every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. That's New York time in America. So wherever you are around the world, 11 a.m. Thursday morning New York time, we're live with a topic and some various interesting things. And I kind of want to share, sort of as a wrap up here, that blogging is not just about writing. People, I get a lot of feedback from people who say, I don't know how to write. I can't write. I'm not good at writing. But writing isn't all it's about. It's about building relationships with other people, making friends, making contacts, making clients. And so you want to think about a blog post in many ways. Yeah, it can be something global that you're sharing with everybody, but write it as if you were sharing it with one person. Be personal about it. If you use tools to help you with your writing, Grammarly or other structural tools, AI chatbots to create the blog post, don't use what they give you as your blog post. Yeah, use those tools, but then make it your own, because they're writing in a structured, learned way, which is their way. Now, over time, you can train a chatbot to know who you are, how you think, and how you speak. And over time, it will start to write things that are better for you. And you will get more comfortable asking it for what you want so that you get the right output. That's all good. But always go over the material and make the changes that put your voice on it. No, I wouldn't use that phrase. I'll change that to this. Well, that's okay, but I would say it this way. Doesn't include this. I'll add that paragraph in. I don't think I'm ready to talk about that with people, so I'll take that out. Do those kinds of things as you edit what you're doing. So be an editor, not a writer, if necessary. And I can teach you how to do that if you need it. But you want to showcase your expertise. And whatever that is, whatever level you are at now, if you're a coach just thinking about starting a coaching practice, wait a minute, did I say if you're a coach just thinking about starting a practice? Yeah, because you are a coach. If you're kicking around the idea, then that means that you're a coach. And if you're watching this, that means you're online, so you have enough technical knowledge to be an online coach. Just a few minor adjustments and we can get you online as an actual coach building a business. So you're already there. You just need to get started. You just need to make the commitment. So make that commitment, and whatever level you're at, if you want to be a coach, it's because in your heart you've got some idea of what you want to share with other people, what you want to do for other people. That is more than what the majority of people in the world are doing. more than what they're thinking about. They may not be thinking at all, and they may need, a large number of them may need what you're ready to share. So you have more knowledge, more ability, more expertise than a lot of people who would gladly be your clients. And as you progress, you will get better and better at it and have more knowledge, and writing blogs can really help you with that. I cannot stress enough that you want to have a blog in your life. A blog should be a companion, a friend, a place to share. And with that, I'll say thank you for your time, folks. It's been wonderful being here. I miss Shelly Ann and Cass, and hopefully they'll be back here next week. I'm not even sure what the topic is for next week. Oh my goodness, I should have found out before I came here, so it'll be a surprise for all of us. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye, everybody. And Maestro, I hope the music is available.